Here we go with the Masonic Army. Look, a list of Prince Hall Grand Lodges. Okay, there's 66 lodges, right? And there's 4,200 members, right? I'm going to show you how big this Masonic Army is, right? And this is in 2015, by the way. 17 lodges, 1,500 members, okay? And they're all locations, look, okay? I can go on and on and on round about, you know what I mean? But this is the start of the book, right? A list of Masonic lodges in American and Canadian Grand Lodges accepted in Freemason, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And the United Grand Lodges of Germany, okay? Because like I said, you know, they weren't persecuted during the war because they wore a forget-me-not, yeah, what identified them not to be touched because they were working for the Germans or the right side of the war. Do you know what I mean? So the Germans left them who wore the forget-me-not. The Germans just left them alone because they were working for them. Do you know what I mean? But the Freemasons changed the history of it, of course, and says, oh, so we remember our fallen brothers. You know what I mean? What a load of rubbish. So we'll start off with Scotland. There's 1,130 lodges in Scotland, okay? And look, Sir Archibald Ewing, yeah, is the Grand Master. And I won't go into all the who's who and what have you. I don't need to, but there's the address and you can ring them up, look. And again, this one, right, this don't give you the numbers, look. They tell you how many lodges there are, but they don't give you the numbers of how many members they got. And there's a few like that, and I'll have to question why. Do you know what I mean? And underneath each as well, look, it tells you the lodges they get on with and the ones they don't get on with. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, or who they recognise in their fraternal, you know. You've got Sweden, look. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story. We're not getting into these. You know, look, even South Africa, look, yeah. See, look, 73 lodges, 1,700 men that are well prominent within Africa running it. Do you know what I mean? And I'll put the Grand Lodge of Spain as well, look, 128 lodges, 2,020 members, yeah? So this is, if you can't get the same amount of men, right, and this was found in 1736, which is, if you remember, right, they were, according to them, they came together in 1717, yeah? So all of this is where they used to war, you know what I mean, and war with each other. But that's Scotland, yeah? 1,130 lodges, okay? And this is all in alphabetical order, yeah? Grand Lodges of Russia. I should have done that. I've never done that. What a man, you know what I mean? Again, look, Russia, right? It doesn't really... it gives you who it is, that Van Balar and Van Delama, Grand Secretary, more than likely related to bloody Putin. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's Russia, and then you got Romania. Let me just do that one again. The people who are coming over from these other people, the registered lodges 172, active lodges 156, yeah, and they got 4,300 members, yeah. So most of the people that are important, you know, importing, or you know, that are actually travelling and looking like they're dissidents or whatever, are more than likely Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And that's the bloody truth of it. But how can I tell that or research that, because I haven't got the power to do that sort of study? Do you know what I mean? Other people do, maybe, I don't know. And again, you've got to be able to speak their language, haven't you? And they'll deny it anyway. But it is all to do with Freemasonry. Everything that happens on this planet, yeah, the movements of people, blah, 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 is all to do with Freemasonry. Now we've got New Zealand, look. In New Zealand, there's 299 lodges, yeah, and they have 11,965 members, okay. The Grand Master, look, David W. Mace is the Grand Master. But again, can you raise this type of army? 11,000 men that are going to stand as brothers, toe to toe. And this is why they don't give a shit about what you say, what you do within your towns and cities, because they've got the numbers. You're nothing. You're one profane person. Do you know what I mean? And most of people ain't even thinking about Freemasons anyway. Now again, we'll go to Israel. Israel, 59 lodges, Yeah, because again, and again, it doesn't give you how many members they've got, but the Grand Master is Sammy Raffaelli. You know what I mean? And you can ring them up and all. Grand Secretary Victor Sarenzo. We've got Ireland. Right, in Ireland, again, another one. Now, I don't know if it's the lodge, how many lodges there are, 1,725. But again, there's no Grand Master. And BSC. But again, yeah, and then you've got lodges in Ireland and outside of Ireland, but again, it's not giving you no numbers, right? And again, look, if you look, lodges in military corpses, yeah, because like I said, they infiltrate all the military, yeah, and not stationary, which means again they're mobile lodges, yeah, that move about. Do you know what I mean? They're traveling lodges. Do you know what I mean? And that's what that's all about. Do you know what I mean? You've got to understand that. And again, it gives you the, you know, like who they look up to or not look up to within the Masonic institution. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to understand that. You know what I mean? These are traveling lodges. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Look, Royal Dragoon Guards. Yeah. It's 200. The lodge number is 295. Yeah, and the location that is there. Right. Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference of it. Do you know what I mean? Lodges in military corps and not stationary, yeah? And there's a lot more, you know, that are travelling lodges. I've got books on it. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got, here we go, look. And this is where, again, you're going to see, because I'm going to do these books here, yeah? And a lot of this is going to talk about Germany. You know, again, they come up. Oh, actually, I've got something here. If I just bring this up now. Like here, look. I'd show you this yesterday, the Grandmother Lodge of the 3 World Globes. So is there 3 worlds? I don't know, you tell me. Freemasonry, no, but this is, look, British Freemasons in Germany. See, British Freemasonry in Germany. Do you see what I mean? Because Britain, and as remember, I'll show you where they have white lodges, yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the red, white, and blue. Yeah, they have red lodges, they have blue lodges, and they have white lodges. Okay, they have other color lodges as well, like orange lodges and la la la. But the main colors are red, white, and blue lodges. Yeah. And again, I'm going to show you that again, but this shows you that British, yeah, and Germans, once again, yeah, get on. And when they will, and I think it comes on here somewhere, it's something about the forget-me-not on this, yeah, but I'm not going to show you this now. I'm going to show you it in my other videos that I've got coming up. This is basically just to show that here it is, look, yeah, the forget-me-not, look, yeah, the flower, yeah. But here they say the clothing and the mark of identifying and continues throughout the entire Nazi era, yeah. But what that forget-me-not actually did, right, was identify a Freemason, right, that was on the Nazi side and would be left alone. Obviously, the civilians didn't know nothing about it, but they did. Do you know what I mean? But they used it as, obviously, at the end, they changed the history of it and says, oh, as to mark our brothers that we remember. No, you were working for the Nazis yourself, and that's why they didn't come after you. Do you think the Nazis really didn't understand? All of a sudden, all these people are walking around with these little pinches of salt, and the Freemasons that were actually getting tortured, yeah, that they weren't giving up any information about the forget-me-not. You're talking rubbish, Pete. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. You've got to look through the lies. Do you know what I mean? Of what these Freemasons tell you, because all wars are Masonic anyway, yeah. But like I said, they changed the history. And if you're a conqueror, you can print whatever you want, and the people will take that as face value, don't they? You know what I mean? But it's not always the same, you know, just because someone's saying something. Again, I'm going to get into that. It's like if I was a doctor and I say, quick, this way, I'm a doctor. That leads authority because I'm saying I'm a doctor. Do you know what I mean? Or I go, like, so you see it on someone's post, you know, who's negative towards you. They say, well, I know, I'm a policeman. People go, oh, he must be right because he's a policeman. Do you see what I mean? And that's that puts authority behind the words they're saying. Whereas someone says, well, rather than say, well, is he a policeman? There's no proof he's a policeman. Is he a doctor? There's no proof he's a doctor. But because he said those words, that lead authority over someone else who maybe not be that sort of person. Do you know what I mean? And they know that. This is how they control us. Do you know what I mean? By authoritative figures. Do you know what I mean? Whether that's police, MPs, all of that bollocks, you know what I mean? But I'll get into this, yeah, and I'll show you. They're friends with the Nazis. You know what I mean? They're all in on it together. None of them are enemies. Do you know what I mean? They're all getting on. But that's another story. I'll be doing that in a bit later, yeah? So let's carry on with this. United Grand Lodges of Germany, the Brotherhood of Freemasons. Look. Lodges 490, yeah? And across that, the members are 14,000. Now, when I'm giving you these numbers, you've got to imagine how many cities there are and then divide these men into the cities, yeah? Or divide them into the towns, and then that'll give you an idea of what controls the towns and cities. But they'll all be high-placed ranking Freemasons, you know, the lords, the dukes and earls, do you know what I mean? So say, like, even just as for an instance, there'll be 1,000 people that are lords, dukes and earls, yeah? The other 13,000, there'll be another, say, 2,000 that run all the high-end office jobs and things like that, yeah? The infrastructure of the city or the town, you know what I mean? And then you've got 6,000 that'll be police, do you know what I mean? Blah, 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 and down it goes, do you know what I mean? Some will be MPs, mayors and all that, and all they do is just keep willing that down all the time, you know what I mean, in every town and city, if you get what I mean, yeah? So this is what this is about. And then obviously you'll have the entered apprentices and the master masons and that making up these numbers. And don't forget, this is 2005. So since then, these numbers and these lodges have well increased, as I've shown in books previously. Do you know what I mean? Which I can show, you know, I could grab this book here, but we're not doing this. This is 1961. Yeah, so in 1961, and I can give you like the German lodges here, do you know what I mean? And you'll see they've increased, do you know what I mean? But I ain't going to go through that because I've shown enough of this already, do you know what I mean? Of these books, do you know what I mean? Of how these, you know, how the, look, it's Japan, look, do you know what I mean? Japan, they're all friends, they all get on, look. Burma, Ceylon, Northern India, Punjabi, do you know what I mean? Jamaica, they're all friends, yeah? Freemasons are brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? And like I said, they start a war just to kill the profane people, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's the United Grand Lodge of Germany, right? And just trying to keep on track with it. But I'm going to be doing, like I said, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to look at that army, look. You know what I mean? This is the sort of thing I'm going to be showing you, you know? Look. Oh. Where is it? Look at that army, look. Now that's Germans, look. Or is that Frenchman? Or is that Dutchman? Because that's in every town and city. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's going to rise up. These are going to be the first gang, yeah? And remember, they've got gangs and they got all the guns. What are you going to defend yourself with? Obviously, I'm talking to the people in the UK. What are you going to defend yourself with? Do you know what I mean? Because you've got nothing. All criminals within every town and city have guns. So straight away, if it Pete-tonged and went off, yeah, every profane person is at a disadvantage to every criminal element in the towns and cities because they've got all the guns. They're armed and they've got armed stash. Do you know what I mean? So straight away, they're going to be able to control you and manipulate you and take your house or whatever you want, whatever they fucking deem fit to take. Because you ain't got a gun, you ain't got nothing. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story anyway. We won't get into that. Now, lodges in Paris. Okay, look, there's 1,318 lodges, and they have 32,700 members in Paris alone. Okay, so you do the figures. I mean, who do you think, as an army or a unit or a gang, runs Paris? Do you know what I mean? And you think, you know, you think they're not friendly with people in Great Yarmouth or Norwich or Scotland or anywhere around the world? They are. The only people they don't recognise, look. And if I go again, this is lodges around Paris, okay? And lodges outside Paris, you know what I mean? Again, look at the lodges outside Paris, but you don't get the numbers for it. Do you know what I mean? But again, look, the Grand Lodge listed in the table of contents in this book, the French National Grand Lodge recognises the following lodges. Obviously, it recognises it, you know, and it goes through like the Croatian, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. So you know what I mean? Poland. You know what I mean? And when you're getting all these people that trafficked in or coming into your country, they're just Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And they're there to instill that chaos and give you and distract you from what is actually going on. Do you know what I mean? And then it shows you what they recognise or don't recognise. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, when the war breaks out, they start fighting each other. They get us to fight their wars. You know, just normal family men. You know, and it don't matter whether they're from France, whether they're from Germany or whatever. The people who are doing the fighting are the profane people that are just don't want to be fighting. They just want to earn a living and get on with their lives. Yeah, but these people are so greedy, they will never ever stop fighting and warmongering against themselves. This is England. Yeah, I just want to show it now. We're in England here. Look, now I ain't going to go through all the pages of England. Yeah, but look how many pages there are. Just absolutely hundreds of pages. Yeah. Okay, because we as an island, yeah, and it's not hard to take control of an island. All right, look at all this. Look, page after page after page. Yeah, Christ Almighty, I wish I had two bloody hands. But wait there. Let's just see. Oh Christ, look at this. This is just ridiculous. Wait there, wait there. Oh, still going. Wait there. I'll just give you an idea how big this is. Yeah. Okay. England overseas. Well, it's England overseas. Look. You know what I mean? England overseas continued. So what we're basically looking at here, right? Yeah, which is astronomical to be honest. Like I said, this army is vast. Okay. Now this is England overseas, right? So what we've got, oh, it's Finland there, right? So what we've got is 253 pages. Look. Okay, and it goes back to, keep going, and it goes page, so what we're looking at is page 200. Yeah, there's 8,469 lodges, right, and the members they have, right, is 279,932 men, gang members that will unite against you in your town, in your city. Yeah, how many men or can you raise that is well armed? They've got all the guns because they're all the police. You know what I mean? They're all the fucking army and the navy and everything else. These are the people you're dealing with. You know what I mean? And there's the King of the Kings. You know what I mean? His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, Grand Master. You know what I mean? Robert H. Morrow, Grand Secretary. Look, see, but this. Look at the pages. Look, 200. Yeah, right up to page 253. So there's 53 pages of lodges. Look, you know what I mean, and that cover the whole country. You know what I mean. Again, you've got to know. Again, it's on my forum. Yeah, you go to my forum and I explain exactly how many towns and cities are within Great Britain. Yeah, and how that slices up of how many men are infiltrated in every town and city around the UK. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing with it. Do you know what I mean? Let me just see if I can get it up for you guys. You know me, I don't like to brag much, but when I brag, I brag. So if you go into my forum and go to the UK section and just do it by the numbers, you know, like number 8. But if you go like Freemasonry within the UK, number 1, look, right, the first thing you're going to learn there. But bloody hurries up. Oh, my profane friends, you're so great. I love you all. Remember, there's that no master or fellow craft receive any cowans to work in his society or company. And they wouldn't accept us, the cowans or profane people. Yeah, and I explain that. Yeah, this is why you can't get jobs and shit like that. To be gods and above the law, right? So the good go to. Wait there now. Let me keep going. Wait a minute. Right, and here it is. This is the numbers here. Look. So with 800,000 Freemasons, right, because this is the true numbers, this is updated, right, 800,000 Freemason members in the UK, and these numbers are off again, by the way, and with over 10,000 lodges, see, which is an increase, okay, so look how many lodges they're done, look, see, look, 8,500, so you've got another 1,500 lodges since I've done this, and I put this post in, and I ain't going to go up and down and search it. You can do that yourselves and see when I posted this, yeah. But look, we are all supposed to believe Freemasonry don't influence the public, media, and everything else in the UK, including the USA, Australia, and many more countries. Well, I've just shown you that in here, right? See, because what I post is facts and truth, and this is what they don't want you knowing about. Do you know what I mean? Also membership in women, and don't forget the women in corrupt Freemasonry. Oh, what's happened there? It's gone dark. My battery power. Oh no, it's the battery power. This. Right, I'm going to go dark because I've got to get the charger. Wait there. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Let me just get my charger. Bloody hell! Quick. I'm back. Wait a minute. Let me just put this charger in. If not, we buggered the bloody video. Oh, baby, come on. I'm just playing my elbow. Quick. In French, you know I love you. Oh, my hairstyle's gone bad. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry about that. What's her panic? So, again, I might do this in 2 parts. If I remember right, all 300 Freemasons within the UK don't even have a criminal record, are not even corrupt. Yeah, right, but we're not doing that. Oh, here it is. Here's the points what I'm trying to get across. Yeah. So what do we know? Well, we know there is 2,070 towns and cities within the UK. I think there's 70 cities, right, and about 2,000 towns, right, in the UK. And I've excluded the villages and all what else is around the UK. Okay, but I'm giving you the numbers here. This is roughly, right? So let's see. That's a minimum of 145 Freemason gang members in each town and city throughout the UK. You see what I mean? So what is the status the gang members hold within every town and city? See, I was doing this years ago, warning you people. No one listens. But let's say that 145 people are running a city, yeah? Let's say 45 of them have got places like in town halls, the police station, and you don't need that many, believe me. And the other 100, you know, this, that, and the other, you know, lackeys, but they've all got high paid positions. Do you know what I mean? That's what controls you. Do you know what I mean? But these, and again, a minor few people control thousands of people because they're respected or whatever. Do you see what I mean? You know, and it comes down, innit? Oh, do what you say, you know, and that's what it's all about. They trick you, you know what I mean? So you've got like 145 people running your town, running your city, what are lords, dukes and earls, yeah? Right? And they're controlling the whole population of that town, how they think, how they should act and whatever. All you've got to do is just take these people out of power, basically, and they're all Freemasons. And then we can start making our own laws, making it fair, where they're not using their courts, their laws, like the police and whatever. But you ain't going to be able to do that because they will not allow that. Do you know what I mean? Because when people are in power, don't relinquish power. Look at Hitler. You know, he got bombed. You know, you think when he got bombed to Berlin, that would turn around and go, that he would have gone, yeah, I'm losing the war, and would have stopped and surrendered. He didn't. You had to bomb him right to his bloody door. You know what I mean? Before he relinquished power. Do you see what I mean? No one relinquishes power. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's go on. But you can go to my forum and see that. Like I said, that's Zazon Boney. You know what I mean? There's Zazon Boney for anyone who's never been there. And just go into, like I said, the UK section. You know, go to the UK section or the worldwide section, and that'll give you a great example of what runs your town and what runs your city, the corruption. You know what I mean? Including the social services on there and everything else. But anyway, there you go. That's the United Grain Lodge England. Look, 8,469 lodges. And there's 279. Like I said, these numbers are well off at the moment. Canada, 613 lodges. 56,000 members. 59,000 members. 60,000 members. Bugger it. Do you know what I mean? There you go. And I've got a few more I'm going to show you again. And then we've got here, again, because I want to do it, Brazil, look. Okay, I think that's Brazil. Right, again, look, lodges, 2,000 lodges in Brazil. Okay, and they've got 72,000 members. Now, remember, they're not listing the true value of what they've got anyway. You know, I don't think they never put anything truthful down on paper. Do you know what I mean? But again, this is the army. Now we come to Western Australia. Okay. For my Australian friend, 147 lodges. There's your Grand Master, look, in Western Australia, and there's 4,600 members. That's in Western Australia, and you got I'll do the Austria. 63 lodges in Austria, and there's 2,700 members. But can you raise any numbers like this in any? Remember, all of these people in this book are friends and brothers across the world. These are one nation of people all working together, yeah, and all their army huts and thingy are all these, yeah. Now remember, I'm only telling you the regular lodges, yeah. I'm not giving you any other lodges, you know, the other sort of type of lodges they have, okay? Remember that. Lodges, 393, 17,845 lodges in the United Grand Lodge of Victoria, okay? Tasmania, 52 lodges with 2,100 members, okay? Now we've got Southern and Northern Australia, the Northern Territories, okay? We've got 113 lodges. Bloody hell, I'm getting all my numbers muddled up. And the members have 4,593 members, yeah? Okay, and like I said, all these people are friends, yeah, and all they do is manipulate their certain people to do certain things in each country and thing. So when they come, like you get loads of people coming into Britain now, yeah, you think they're thingy, but you look behind them. Are they Freemasons? Of course they are. Do you know what I mean? And they've been sent here by the Masonic lodges. Do you see what I mean? From that particular, you know, look, lodges, 329. Members, 12,500. They don't care because it doesn't affect them in any way because their lives go on, yeah? They're the ones that don't live in your town, living with the shit, do you know what I mean? Because they live outside the town or they live in rich, well-to-do areas and they drink in pubs and clubs that have nothing to do where everyone else goes, do you know what I mean? And I can show you that all day long like that, you know what I mean? All you'll get, you go like to the Cliff Hotel, you ain't going to get none of the indigenous species go in there, if you get what I mean, because they're turfed out. Do you see what I mean? But we will. You go to the pub and whatever, and they're all in the pubs and the clubs mingling and mixing with you because they know that causes trouble and then gives their Masonic policemen something to do, and you know, split up the, you know, whatever the cultures. You know what I mean? Because people don't get on. New United Grand Lodge of New South Wales, 400 lodges, 19,000 members. Do you know what I mean, my profane friends? Argentina, when we were at war with them, yeah, do you know what I mean? Again, we were friends with them. Do you see what I mean? We were friends with Argentina. You know, the only people who were fighting over Argentina, which again was a distractional thing, because it was just another Masonic war. Do you know what I mean? Distractional crap. Washington State, okay, 198 lodges and with 20,000 members. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then we've got Virginia, the Virgin area or whatever it is, 319 lodges in Virginia. And members, 42,000 members. Imagine that. But remember, this is just the regular lodges. This has nothing to do with provisional lodges or any of the other malarkey they got, yeah? Or the Rose Croix lodges and blah, 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 okay? So this is just the regular lodges. So these numbers, even though these are fucking bad enough, you've got other lodges as well, which I'll show you in a minute. Lodges. For Texas, look, this is Texas. Texas has 888 lodges, and in there they have 109,000, obviously, members. Do you know what I mean? And that's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy for Texas. Do you know what I mean? But where'd that book go? Let me just give you a quick butch again at this. This is what I'm on about. Yeah, these are just regular lodges. Yeah, these are not provisional lodges. Look. See, now you've got provisional lodges, and I've shown you that, and I can go, these are the towns of the provisional lodges, yeah? You see what I mean? This is in, and then you've got your London lodges, look, but they're all different. Do you know what I mean? They have different lodges for different areas, yeah? You know, so you've got to know that. And don't forget, we're not talking about the chapters, yeah? Which are lodges, yeah? These are not chapters. The chapters within these lodges, yeah? And you've got the Royal Arch Lodges, don't forget, look, Royal Arch Lodges. So there's a lot of lodges that I'm not even talking about or mentioning through this book. We're just talking about the regular lodge, right? And that's all we're talking about. We are not talking about the chapters that are within. So every lodge, yeah, has like 6 to, you know, up to 20 chapters within that lodge. So do the maths. Do you know what I mean? We're just talking about members in the regular lodges, yeah, and their members, yeah. We're not talking about the Rose Croix and the Knights Templar in Commandery lodges and all the rest of it, okay? Anyway, here's Pennsylvania, look. 452 lodges plus 1 research lodge, whatever that fucking means. You know what I mean? Where they experiment on the profane, I reckon. More than likely a Nazi lodge. Anyway, members 129,916 members. Do you know what I mean? You know, communications the first Wednesday in June and December. See, crazy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Crazy. The annual grand communication of St. John the Evangelist Day. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't know much about it. Like I said, I don't know much about it. I'm just giving the facts of how big this army is. And people need to realise they're all friends. New Mexico, 64 lodges. Members, 6,715. Baby. You know what I mean, my profane friends? How about New York? The 5 families, all Freemasons families. Look, you've got 10 lodges in Lebanon. Why is that? But anyway, 619 lodges and members stretched to 60,889 thing. So I reckon old Trump is in with them lodges. Do you know what I mean? Guarantee it. But we're, like I said, we're not talking about Missouri. You know, who likes a Missouri, baby? Not 393 lodges. Yeah. And they have 53,162 members. You know what I mean? And the last one I marked was Illinois, whatever the word is. Lodges, 559 lodges, Illinois, and the members is 77,377. Do you know what I mean? And that goes, these are just regular lodges, nothing. Colombia, again, this is why they're successful drug dealers and drug lords. 34 lodges, members 4,897. You know what I mean? And again, Florida, 304 lodges plus 10 memorial lodges. Do you see what I mean? And some of these they don't mark up, and then you got 55,000 members. Do you know what I mean? In Delaware, 29 lodges, members 5,006. And you don't think that you know how are you going to go up against these? California, 361 lodges, members 71,000. Do you know what I mean? That's in California, AA. Arkansas. Now, if there's anyone who wants to know a Pacific town or city or whatever, 309 lodges in Arkansas, 19,000 members. Arizona, 61 lodges, 2 research lodges. God knows what that means. And then members 10,734. But if I've missed anything, or someone would like to know what you know in their own district or state or county, how many lodges or chapters are within, just put a little thingy on the post, and I'll see what I can do. Lodges in Alaska, 22. Members 2,106. Do you know what I mean? And we're not even talking about the travelling lodges. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. You know, and all of that malarkey, you know what I mean? But again, look, the minimum and maximum time required to elapse between successive degrees, yeah? And this is how they learn the degrees, do you know what I mean? 1 lunar month, do you know what I mean? 24-hour proficiency also required, you know, whenever candidate is proficient, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, some can take 6 months, you know, to go up through certain degrees, you know? But they tell you everything, you know. It's not me. I ain't made none of this up. This is all to do with them, you know what I mean? I'm you know, this is annual dues, yeah, what they pay, minimum dues, is 100 quid, for Russia. Was that 100 rubles? You know, the average dues, again, the average dues. Do you see what I mean? And this is the money they're taking in all the time. How much money you collecting as a nation of profane people? How much money are you getting together? How many hospitals have you got ready for your profane people? You know, when your mum or your dad or your nanny goes into hospital, how many people have you got? How many hospitals have you got where you can put them, jump the queue, yeah, to any hospital treatment and put them in? You can't. The Freemasons can. because they're working together like this. You know what I mean? Look at all their money. Look what they get in all the time. Look, the average dues. Look, all this money, what they're being paid and gone into the lodges. And if that ain't greedy enough, they own all the businesses, so they're getting all the money from the leases, all the money from their charities. Do you know what I mean? And it goes on and on and on. But you know, you've got grand jurisdictions. Look, you see, which is again a different. You know, who runs and who controls. You know what I mean? You know, and you can go on and on and on. And their jurisdictions, you know, and their jurisdictions is the world. You know, there's no jurisdiction where they haven't. You know, and that's the thing about it. You know what I mean? Yugoslavia, look, 18 lodges, 545 people. Do you know what I mean? But they control it. You know, Switzerland, 78 lodges, 3,842 lodges. Do you know what I mean? Always the same. That'll never change. Never ever change. Puerto Rico, Panama, look, it's all there, everywhere. It don't matter where you look. They run it all. Norway, do you know what I mean? Peru, 5,000 members, look, 174 lodges, and in Peru, 5,000. Do you see what I mean? And it's all everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Norway, New Zealand. I've done New Zealand, didn't I? I did do New Zealand just in case. 299 lodges. With 11,965 minge heads as members. Yeah, so there you go. You know, I mean, that's how massive. Look, you know what I mean? You know, well, that's England. Look, it just goes on and on. England do. You know what I mean? We're well taken over. Do you know what I mean? But every gang in from that stems from London all the way through every major city is run by a criminal. Masonic Freemason, do you know what I mean? A Grand Master, you know, and they get away with it, and there's no one's investigating them because they're brothers and they're sisters. Do you know what I mean? But you better wake up to it, mate. These people are all friendly. You know, they run the world in every. You know, they, like I said, they're a nation of people. They got their own laws. They got their own government. They got their own courts. Everything you see within your town or any city, law, banking system, passports, the lot. These people have got it. Do you know what I mean? They've got their own coins, their own cash, and fucking everything. You know what I mean? But they're not registered as a nation. You know, as like, oh, we, you know, like Africa are a nation, so they, you know, they go in. These people have no, no, what do you call it? No, you can't point your finger at them. Yeah, what country are Freemasons? Where's their country? They're in all countries. Do you see what I mean? So how can you point your finger at you know? You can't blame you just see what I mean. You can't blame them for anything because they run it all. That's what it's about: the land, the air, and the water. Do you know what I mean? They own the land, they own the air, and they own the water. Land, air, water. Law. They are the law over everyone, and they dominate everyone within every country. But they just don't do it up front. They've done everything the Romans did. They did everything what Julius Caesar did. They've done everything what Genghis Khan has done, but they've done it tenfold. You know what I mean? And they've done it sneakily without shooting anyone or killing anyone in their own name. They've done it all behind, you know, dictators like Germany, Hitler, Napoleon, you know, all these different people. They've done it behind their hidden aprons. Do you know what I mean? But what they've done, they've conquered the world, yeah, and they're in a landmass where they ain't in control. Do you know what I mean? And they've done it without firing a shot, and no one can point themselves. They can't say, you know, you can't point at where, oh, that's that nation of Freemasons, because they don't come about as a nation of Freemasons. Yeah, we're just a group of men in a town going to the lodge and having silly little rituals, but it ain't as bigger than that, because they're a religion, they're a government, but they rule everyone else. They tell people what government and what rules and what religion people are by the influences they have within town and cities. They're the parasites that, you know, you don't even know there, you know what I mean? And that's the thing with them. They're parasitic, yeah, in all towns and all cities, living off the profane people and tricking them to be slaves for them so they can live comfortably and do nothing. You know what I mean? Show me a homeless Freemason anywhere. You ain't. Show me a Freemason that needs medical treatment or is on the waiting list for medical treatment. You can't, because they get the medical treatment because they jump the queues, because the doctors and the nurses fiddle the fucking numbers and the books to make sure they get it. You know what I mean? Same as in the councils. Their family members have all got council houses, yeah? And flats and whatever else, because they're family. You, the profane, ain't. Do you know what I mean? You're not a sister. You're not a brother. You're without the temple. You're the fucking peasant. You're the nobody. You're the vulgar, profane person. Do you know what I mean? You know? And this is the power. Do you know what I mean? Their power. You know what I mean? All these old men, look, they march as old men because they got the power, yeah? We're the authority. That's why we march in that army. The youngsters don't need to march, because if you start putting because they want to look like they're fuddy-duddy old men, yeah? You know, we're just dustballs and fucking whatever. But they ain't. They're an army. They're a unit. And they control your town, control your cities. And all you lot do is keep moaning at your council members that are Freemasons anyway, what are getting direct orders from the people that are elites, the lords, the dukes and earls above. Do you know what I mean? And here come your army, look. Can you raise an army like this of profane people? You get a load of... Do you know what I mean? Look. See, these are all thinking. They all own the councils. They all own the police. And here's that army, look. Yeah? And they're marching out of their castle, look. Where's your army? You're sitting there now as a profane person. How many people can you now... All of these people here... You start attacking them, each and every one of them will fight you and kill you because you're profane, yeah? And they'll all lie for each other and keep their chest, their secrets within their chest, you know, or what they do within a darkened lodge, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. There's a lodge, yeah? It's got no, it has no, what's it called? Yeah, it's got no, it has no, what's it bloody called? No windows or anything, yeah? So you've got 50 men rape someone, yeah? Right? And then what? Where's your witnesses? You've got one person, you've got 50 men that are police, lawyers, solicitors going, no, that didn't happen. She's a liar. And because they wear them uniforms, that becomes believable. Again, that refers to when someone who's in a doctor's uniform go, follow me, and they've got that authority, then you tend to believe them. Do you see what I mean? And they know that. And they've got the numbers for deniability all the time. And no one's watching them anyway. Start watching them. You'll soon learn who your fucking Freemasons are, because criminals are habitual and they can't stop. Like the P2 Lodge, you know, research it. You know, like the I'm trying to think of other inquiries, but just go to my, like I said, go to my forum and look at whistleblowers and heroes, or look at what has been covered up. Do you know what I mean? That's in the shush section. You know what I mean? What's been covered up? It's all been covered up by Freemasons, because they have the power to do that within towns and cities. You know, when people are losing their children and they go to the family courts that are run by Freemasons, yeah, and the police come round, yeah, because it's all Masonic agenda, yeah, you're fighting the judge, you're going to judge this policeman there, but it's Freemasons you're fighting, and you don't realise it because they come under a different name, a different disguise and a different uniform. They just not wearing their aprons. Here come the army marching, look. Here's all the Eastern Stars, look, the women. You got to watch them too. Do you see what I mean? And they're all bowing down to these people, look. You know, the Lord Mayor and all the rest of it. But they've got no power. They don't own any businesses. They don't own any leases. And that's what the trick is. These are the lords, the dukes and earls, and they're always round the kids, look. You know, just like Savile at the hospitals, look. See? See, all fuddy-duddy, all men. But you go look at your lodges. You sit up there, right? Yeah? Look at this army marching. You go sit outside your lodges and you watch the young men turn up. They're not old men and fuddy-duddy. These are the ones that have willed it down. These are the top men, but they're willing it down to the youngsters. Do you know what I mean? And here they come, look. You see? That's an army marching through the city or your town. But you say that, shh, keep him quiet. We're not an army. We don't control anything. Do you know what I mean? We don't. Who prove, tell me who runs anything, you know what I mean? You know, and you keep voting Labour and you keep voting Conservative, but the Conservative Party and the Labour Party and the SLP and the SNB, the LBDQ, the BLM movement, whatever movement it is, they own it. They're the ones that make the groups, because you get the divide and conquer, because you point fingers of who's to blame and who's not to blame, you know what I mean? And that's all they do. They start movements, and once the Profane get that movement running, yeah, then they go into the background, you know what I mean? And then they can move away from it. But they have their sleepers within the group just to keep it guided, you know, just nicely, just to keep that divide and conquer going, you know. So they have their sleepers within the group, but they're paid for that. Do you know what I mean? You know, they're paid to do that, and they do, but then they live well. You know what I mean? Because you're our spy in the BLM group. You're the spy within the LBDQ group or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. Every movement is run by Freemasons. That's why they got a voice. So watch your movements. Do you know what I mean? Because these people are behind it, you know. They're behind all biker gangs. They're behind all the scooter gangs, you know. Like when this, I remember, you know, and I don't want to go too much here. You know, I remember the people that were more influencing with the skinheads and the scooter gangs and the biker gangs and all of that. They were the influencers around here, you know, and people used to follow them because they were the ones with the voice, you know, had that charismatic, you know, that charismatic fucking whatever, you know what I mean? And dumb people follow people that are, you know, can manipulate people, and that's what the Freemasons love, getting within their ranks. You know what I mean? People that can influence other people. Do you know what I mean? And they love that. You know, and like I said, they've got all the criminal guns. Yeah, they've got all the criminals within their lodges. They've got all the guns because all their little police officers, yeah, have signed the warrants. You know, and their doctors have signed the warrants and give everyone a fucking gun in Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? What have you got? The Profane? Nothing. You go try, if you're Profane now, yeah, and you've got no criminal record and you're a good person, you go try get yourself a gun. Get a policeman to sign you and a doctor to give you a gun. You ain't getting one. You know what I mean? And if you check and do your research, yeah, you'll see that they own all the gun clubs, because they want to make sure who controls the guns. Do you know what I mean? In the UK, obviously it's easier in America. They're everywhere. But in the UK, you ain't getting a gun. You ain't getting nothing. You're Profane. You try it. You know what I mean? You ain't getting nothing. And if you start trying to get a gun, you'll get a team of committee of Freemasons trying to sniff out what you're going to do with that gun. Do you see what I mean? You know, they're going to want to know the ins and outs of it, blah, blah, blah. You know, but that's why you've got a lot of knife crime, you know, and shit like that now, because no one's armed. So everyone carries a fucking knife, you know. But that's another story. But people are still getting shot and killed by criminals. It's not hard to get a gun, is it? You know what I mean? But what you, the Profane, you can't get a gun because you ain't criminalised. You know what I mean? The people who run your towns and cities have the guns because they're criminalised and they can get the guns and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, they'll have one of their friends. He'll have 3 shotguns. Let's just say shotguns and a few pistols. He's in a gun club. You go, oh, my cabinet that's supposed to be locked, or my safe chest is there. The person burgles it. They get insurance from the burglar, from the burglary. Do you know what I mean? But they've gained 3 or 4 guns. Do you know what I mean? And then it goes, obviously they, you know, they can be stashed away or whatever they need to do with it. You know what I mean? Then it gets put into the criminal fucking enterprise. But that's how they gain their guns. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, mate, you know, get someone to burgle them and then they've got the guns, you know, and that's how they do it, you know. Oh, mate, it's just crazy. But at the end of the day, like I said, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Don't believe me. Do your own research. You know what I mean? You know? But see the problem, yeah? If all the criminals, yeah, within your town and your city has all the guns and it went shit tong, you know, kicked off, right? Or there's famine or anything else, the first people that are going to be together working as an army are the Freemasons. They're going to have the guns, yeah? And can you see the problem with that? You're going to have nothing to defend yourself with against these people when they rise up. But they'll tell you, oh, we'll bring in the National Guard and all the rest of it. But the National Guard of Freemasons, run by colonels and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? As I've shown you in my book. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. But just remember one thing. What was that Mr. Savile, Jimmy Savile, brother Jimmy Savile said? I'm tricky. Yeah, the Freemasons are even trickier because they've conquered the whole planet, right, without firing a gun or a shot in their name, yeah, and control every town and city. They're trickier than Savile, aren't they? But that's what Savile said. Tricky people, you know what I mean, get away with stuff, and that's what the Freemasons are. They're very tricky. I'm tricky. You know what I mean? They're tricky. The Freemasons are tricky Freemasons. You know what I mean? But until you know that, and the profane, like I said, don't know that because they're being tricked daily because they don't even know what a Freemason is. How can you stop this army? You know what I mean? How can you stop that army? You know, these are, you know, policemen, judges, magistrates, shop owners, everyone that has influence and power within your city that control leases and businesses are the Freemasons. You, the profane, what do you own? Nothing. You work in their factories. You go to Bernard Matthews. You go to Birdseye. You go to Tesco's. You go to stacking shelves, and you work for them. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. But every other infrastructure, what's important, belongs to fucking them. Do you know what I mean? And they say what goes and what don't go. And when you get a national strike, that's because they want a national strike. Do you know what I mean? Let's say I owned a company, right? Like a light, and I go, oh, let's all strike. No one will fucking strike because I'm not known. Do you see what I mean? It's not thing. But when they want a strike or a rally or whatever, they're the ones doing it because they're the ones who can quickly organise shit. And they organise it through these pamphlets here. And they're handed out in the lodge to each person, not exactly the same as this, but similar to this. Yeah, they get a folder and they read it, and then it's destroyed. Yeah, just like any other thing. You know, they don't put the plans out everywhere. You read it, or they're getting directed word by mouth because their memories are good and they get it word by mouth. Yeah, and that's it. Then it's destroyed. So they get directions within the lodge how they should treat us. And they get these little ones as well. I shall be going through some of these, and you'll see. You know what I mean? It's all, you know, they get these directions and these orders straight from the UGL, the United Grand Lodge of England, and then it's passed around. So when there's a strike, you know, like Liverpool, Manchester, Edinburgh, all they do is send a fax out, tell your people that are running the lorries, because they've got all the phone numbers. Do you know what I mean? And all the rest of the fucking malarkey in these books, yeah? Yeah? This is where, you know, the phone number's right at the top of the bloody booklet, you know, of who you need to contact and who you don't need to. I ain't got glasses on, that's why I can't bloody see. Beautiful. But look, this is what they do. They ring these people up, fax it through or email it, and whatever's done is done. That fax, they can fax the whole of the world. Do you know what I mean? Let alone, you know, just see what I mean? They've got all the numbers typed in and they send that fax and that's it. Have you ever watched when they tried to kill Hitler and they did that? What was that called? That was the Valkyrie or something, wasn't it? The Valkyrie? Yeah, that's what they do. Do you see what I mean? The same thing, you know, and that's why they organise shit very quick and very fast. So be wary of people who can organise shit, who have a voice within the truth of movement. You know, be careful, have your own mind, you know, think, you know, what is going on here. You know, you got a truth of meeting and they start talking a load of fanny, you know, about this, that and it. They're not doing anything where they should be talking. How can we take our buildings back? Yeah, can we confront the Freemasons working within the town halls and within our parish councils? Who's got the power? This power's been going on for hundreds of years. Yeah, how do we get rid of these people? How do we oust them out of power? We know marching on their buildings like Number 10 and Westminster and all the crap just don't work. So have we got to vote them out? Yeah, okay, let's get the numbers, and then we all en suite march into one particular fucking polling station and everyone votes this, or make our own political party. Yeah, make your own political party up and, you know, be your own party and make sure everyone votes for your party, and your party is going to oust all these Freemasons out of positions of power. And that's what it'll, if that work, but that won't, because they won't allow you to do that. Do you know what I mean? It'll be screwed up, or something will happen, or you'll be assassinated, just so you don't take that power away from them. But you start taking that power of their towns and their cities and their platform of being able to communicate with each other, you know, that's when you're going to see trouble, because they ain't going to allow it. Conquerors, yeah, that's like walking up on a biker gang, yeah, and saying, right, I'm now going to make you all skinheads or something. Do you know what I mean? They ain't going to do that. They're going to fight you to stop you doing that. You know what I mean? You know, anyone in power will not relinquish power. The Freemasons are in power, and they ain't going to let you take that without a fight. Do you know what I mean? But they're going to distract and turn away and do whatever they can to do before it even get that. You won't be able to, because that's what they do. They avoid, distract, change their name and divert before it ever gets to anything confrontational with them. Do you know what I mean? Or they just totally, completely ignore you like the people in power do, you know? You confront an MP or, you know, whatever, and you say, oh, this, why are you doing this? They ignore you. They just walk in, shut the door, and the security go, you're not coming in here, son. You know what I mean? Because they got that ring of protection around them where they don't have to answer up to us, because you're below us. We're within the temple. We don't have to answer anything to you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Anyway, that's my rant for today, my profane friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, their army knows no bounds. And that's 2005, look. Do you know what I mean? Remember, this is just their regular lodges. Okay, it's got nothing to do with their provisional lodges. Okay, remember that. Let me get my glasses on. Bloody hell, let me just give you a demo just so people know. Right, let's see if I can get the London lodges. Wait a minute. Provisional lodges. And remember, we're not talking about the chapters within neither. I ain't going to find it, am I? Typical. When you try to find something, you know what I mean, my profane friends? You know what I mean? And the Rose Croix lodges as well, don't forget. These are the chapters, look. But I was hoping to just find something that said, oh, London lodges. But there is somewhere. Oh, yes, it is. There we go. M-L, yeah, we got it here. Look, yeah. L-L-L-O. Wait there. See if I can find it. London lodges. Wait there. See if I can find it. Hopefully I can. Doodle-doodle-doo. Leicester, Lincoln. What the hell? Liverpool, could have just done on that one, I suppose, couldn't we, my profane friends? Lancashire, what the bloody hell? It's never the bloody same. Suffolk, what the hell? That is in here. I've got it in other videos anyway, but I know 100% they don't. The numbers don't tally up, like I said, and the numbers in this book here for the 2005, that ain't. Yeah, look. Lodges around underground inspectorates, yeah, 36. You see what I mean? So you're looking at different lodges, yeah, what are under the Grand Inspectorate. You see what I mean? So again, that's another set of lodges that, you know, that we don't even know about. You know what I mean? Like I said, they've got the provisional lodges. You know what I mean? And there's the normal regular lodges. You know what I mean? They've got lodges everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And if we could mark them all, you'd be quite surprised of how many. Oh, where is it? I've got the numbers here. You know, even for London, I need to go to the index, really, don't I? That's what I should fucking do. No, I ain't going to do it in my Scottish lodges. Look, yeah, I will do the Scottish lodges and the Irish lodges. Look. So what I'll do, just to give you a grand idea of this, right there. Let's see if I can get it first. Right there. Right, Grand Lodges of Ireland. Right, wait there. Grand Master. Normally that gives you the list, and then again that isn't. That's giving you. Oh yeah, numerically. Look, right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I can give you an idea of this actually. Yeah, I didn't think I would be able to. So in Ireland, yeah. Okay, and then numbered numerically. Look, right. Okay. So it starts with 1 and then it goes all the way through. So in Ireland, okay, Irish lodges, okay, we have 1,016 lodges, okay. That's in Ireland, okay. I'm glad I found that. Oh, baby. And the Scottish lodges, again, which are marked up, which is in Scotland, look. The Grand Lodge of Scotland, which is wait there, and again look, special grants by grant lodge. You know, again they're right there. I go through the outstanding event. Is that? Oh, that's the foreign lodges. Wait a minute. You know me, I'm not a professional. All right, take it easy. So in Scotland, there's 1,572 lodges. You know what I mean? Oh, no. Sorry. Come on, man. Come on. Wait a minute. Again, these are Dominion lodges, look. See, Dominion. You know what I mean? The dominion over you knows no bounds. Do you see what I mean? So again, apart from the provisional, the regular lodges, the Rose Croix lodges, you know what I mean? You've got Dominion lodges, but there's 1,572 of them. Okay, so you do the figures. You know what I mean? Right there. Go back. You swine. Yeah. So in Scotland, the lodges, right, the Scottish lodges, there's 1,572 Scottish lodges, okay? So there it goes, yes, there's 1,000, that goes down to 1,530, and then there's 1,572 lodges, okay? And then the Dominion lodges, look, yeah, which is again, you know, a different bloody kettle of fish again, yeah? Because this is what you got to remember. These are all different friggin' lodges. Oh, wait there, no. That's it, yeah, So they've got Dominion lodges and all that. And then, you know, I can go into the bloody outstanding events. Again, look, their history, yeah. You go to their history, look. Right there. Outstanding Masonic events, look, okay. This has happened in like 1958, look. HMN Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, opened a new Wakefield wing at the Royal Masonic Hospital. You see what I mean? And it's got events like that. And if you go back for the outstanding events, which starts here, look. See, outstanding events convened Anthony Sayer Grand Master. That was in 1717, yeah, which is when they got together, and then boom. But there's a lot of history before that we don't hear. The Duke of York and His Royal Highness William Henry, Duke of Gloucester, initiated. You see what I mean? And this is where you start getting it, look. See, kings, queens, lords, dukes and earls, and this is what the Freemasons look after. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. Look, the Earl of Zetland, Pro Grand Master and elected Grand Master. See what I mean? That's all lords, dukes and earls. Look, HMS Queen Victoria became patroness of the Masonic Boys' School. See, but this is what you're up against, the Earl de Grey, look, you see. You're up against earls, lords, dukes, do you know what I mean? Baronesses, barons, you know what I mean? All of them landowners that were knights, templars, that kicked the profane off the land, you know? You know, and again, we'll be going on about the Prince of Connaught and all of that bollocks in my other videos, what now's coming up. But again, look, the dukes, do you know what I mean? Yeah? And this is what I'm saying, Prince Albert, afterwards Duke of York, do you know what I mean? Knights, whatever. But again, like I said, it's all, this is what you're up against, lords, dukes and earls, and their, you know, their relatives are running the towns, are running the cities, but you don't see them. They're just not up front because they've got all the fucking lackeys doing all the work for them, yeah. And so long as their lackeys are keeping you under their jackboot, you know what I mean, they don't give a fucking shit. Now look, Right Honourable Earl of Hardwood, you know what I mean? This is what it's all about, you know what I mean? This is, you know, great, you know, dukes, earls, lords, dukes, and that's what I keep telling you. This is what you're fighting and what you're up against, and all they do is keep replacing, or, you know, keep putting other people in their place, yeah, so they don't have to ever answer up to you. They'll never answer up to you anyway, because you're profane, you're fucking nothing, and you're a nobody, do you know what I mean? And you always will be, sadly. Do you know why? Because you're profane, you're the vulgar, hated profane. You know what I mean? And I was just looking for my my heraldry books there, but I can't see them off the top of my head. But again, like I said, it don't matter. You're nothing, and you'll always be nothing. I'm now an hour into this, but look at the power they have. Look, you know what I mean? All these people. Look, these are the funds. Look, okay, the money. I'm going to show you some of the money they raise. You know, it may not look like it's a lot, but it's fucking astronomical. Remember, they're all doing this. Do you know what I mean? Not just fucking, you know, I'm swearing now because I'm getting angry because they piss me off big time. But look at the money. You know what I mean, this is it. And I'll show you some of the serious money they use, you know, and I'm talking millions of pounds, millions. You know what I mean? Royal Masonic Hospital, look, you see? Oh, yeah, I'll give you some of their bigger numbers there, actually. I was freaking gone. But yeah, look, you see what I mean? £35,000. And don't forget, they're slicing some of this charity money off. Do you know what I mean? Because every bit of charity money you get, they get a slice off it and put it in their own pocket. Look, £146,000. Look, £986. You know what I mean? That's the investments. Look, see? They're investing in everything. You see what I mean? This is what they do. The institution for boys, look. The institution for girls. You know what I mean? The hospitals, all money, look. You see what I mean? Look at the money they deal with. And they're clipping money off the top of that because they're a charity. Remember that. You know what I mean? And here's the, you know, look. This is what it's all about. Widows, spinsters, sisters and children by immediate grants. Do you know what I mean? And they give them money when they die. You know, they got the money to do it. They're not poor, these people. Do you know what I mean? And that's all what they're doing all the time. Do you know what I mean? You know, what's this? Look, the Royal Masonic Institute, look, founded in 1842, the Grand Patron, Her Majesty the Queen. Do you see what I mean? And that'll be the Lords, the Dukes and the Earls that are raising all these funds from us to pay these people. It's fucking crazy. Do you know what I mean? You know, just see what I mean? This is what it's all about, you know? And money to these people is nothing because we keep giving them money. That's all we ever do. And they keep us living poor. We consume their products. Do you know what I mean? But that's the sort of money you're dealing with these people. But I'll show you other books where you're dealing like millions of pounds, you know. I'll just show you a few big numbers there. But, you know, you know, look. You know what I mean? Look, that's the money you're fucking dealing with all the time. You know, these numbers ain't there for nothing. So you imagine, you know, how much they're earning constantly, and they own every shop and, you know, business in every town and city. You know, they ain't getting these numbers from nowhere. This is what they're put. This is their book. This is North Wales Masonic Benevolent Association. The Right Honourable Lord, of course. You know what I mean? And the charity, they're all getting a slice of that, you know, because I think, like, if you've got, you know, the 100% funds, I think they get, even if they get 5% of that, which I think is higher anyway, that's a lot of money, isn't it? You know, and that's why they do charity, because they're getting money from us for nothing. They ain't got to do fuck all. We give it to them. Do you know what I mean? Take the piss on all levels, you know. And again, I'll show you within there where they get free rides off the government. They get government funds to build houses or old people's homes. Do you know what I mean? I'll show you. That's all in here. They put it all down. That's all in there. You know, the grants they get off the government. Do you know what I mean? They tell each other, you know, and then they're all at it. They're all at the councils getting grants, getting these old people's homes built for their people that are Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, my profane friends, I always say that, don't I? I'm now going and all that, but this time I am. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, this is just regular lodges. This is not provisionals. This is not their super duper lodges. It's not their world lodges. It's none of the other lodges. That's just their regular lodges. And if them numbers don't frighten you, just add on the, you know, the Rose Croix, the provisional lodges, the chapters within. Do you know what I mean? Remember, each of these lodges has chapters. And like I said, there'll be 6 to 7 chapters with members in them. Do you know what I mean? So you do the maths, my profane friends, because it scares the hell out of me. I'm up against 1 billion fucking Freemasons in this world. In my town alone, yeah? You know what I mean? There's supposed to be 8 lodges. I know of more. I've got a track on 2 what I think are lodges, yeah? But ain't even registered, do you know what I mean? But we're getting Freemasons walking in and out the fucking door. But like I said, they can make a lodge up in the toilet room if they want. It's only the numbers. You know, you've got to have a minimum of 3 Master Masons to make a lodge, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter, fuck, they can make a lodge anywhere they want. And they do. They make them up in their houses. They make them up in the schools. They make them up in the police stations. They make them up in your churches. They make them up in your, you know, everywhere. So, like I said, these people have infiltrated everyone's lives, yeah, and so long as we're enslaved to these people, they will never ever be ever stop being parasitic people to us. Do you know what I mean? And they control it all. Anyway, my profane friends, remember I love you and keep up the fight. You know what I mean? Like I said, but you've got to take back your parish councils, get a movement going. Don't follow you know, anyone, use your own fucking brain, you know what I mean? And then just get your own people together and keep talking Freemasonry. The more people that wake up to Freemasonry, the better, because no one knows about them. Do you know what I mean? And they don't want you talking about them. Shh. Everything I've said here today gets, you know, they want to kill me. They already spoke about it and talked about it, you know, or put me in prison for 40 months, you know, and then someone killed me inside, or I have an accident like a suicide, you know what I mean? They can explain that away because that happens in prison. Do you see what I mean? So they always try and make these scenarios up where it can happen, you know, like I said, you know, they try and make accidents happen, you know what I mean, or blatantly just kill you anyway and get away with it. But they won't get away with it this time, because the murder inquiry will land right squarely on their little Masonic slab where the key's hidden to get in the lodge. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story, my profane friends. Have a great day and keep up the fight. You know what I mean? Remember, you are not the vulgar, hated profane. Do you know what I mean? We are in the north, and remember, they don't honour anything in the north because that's where God stands. Do you know what I mean? So remember that. We are God. We are the gods. Have a great day, my profane friends. But I'll get into these books later and I'll show you some more of their silly little power. All right? Have a great day.